Hello guys, welcome back. First of all, I'd like to apologize for the big gap between videos. I was on holiday, which was great, and that's why there's a little bit of delay. But this time I'm going to have something different for you. In the past, I've done a bunch of like recreational video as a practice, and this time I thought that it would be interesting to see like some sort of concepting of a hypothetical game UI exploration. And this time I was picking the movie, the TV show, The Boys, and specifically Homelander, and I was thinking to do kind of a like a ability skills screen for him. And this is what I came up with, and I just wanted to basically show you my process. How did I started the whole thing, and then what kind of decisions I made, and this is the result I ended up with. I'm not entirely 100% happy, and I would definitely go back and iterate it, but I just wanted to throw it out there for you guys so you can have a look at it and give me maybe some feedback, and then I might go back and change it later. Okay, so basically what I started with is Moodboard. So I created a artboard which I called Moodboard, and I collected screens from Homelander, and then a couple of other screens from the Boys show itself. So the inspiration what I was taken away from the whole these some colors like this red, the navy blue, and Homelander's pattern, which we can see on the uniform here, and then a couple of posters which I really liked, and I like this kind of the flag kind of design in the background, and then its symbol. This is the symbol you can see on the boot, on the belt, which is really cool, like here. And then of course the shoulder piece, which was really interesting, and I ended up kind of like making my version of it, and I tried to incorporate it into a button, but I wasn't very happy about it. But I'm going to show it to you. How did that look? So the first thing I did, I created this pattern, which was literally just went over this here, and I made myself a custom shape which is here. So you can see this is how it looks like, and then I created this pattern. I saved the pattern, and then I was using it in a couple of places. Let's have a look. So this is the screen we got, and let's start off with the background. The background has got basically, I'm just going to turn all these off for now so you can see. So the background is basically I was trying different colors, a darker theme, but I started off with this purpley kind of color. And what happened here is this is just a base solid color, and the hex code is B53769. I added a noise layer. This noise layer was basically just a simple solid color layer, which I used 50% gray like this, and I started to add a noise, which is filter, noise, and then add noise, and then of course you have to do a smart object. You did that, and then you go Gaussian, and then just press OK. And this itself wasn't enough, so I went back into the filter gallery, and then applied a stamp effect on it, and something small. So basically you can see these speckles. I was trying to achieve some sort of noise, but I wanted to have more of kind of like a dust in the air kind of stuff. So I used 40 and smoothing through, and the idea here is that you need to definitely go, and I'm just going to turn this off here, and go and change to the blending mode to overlay, so it will take away the that greenish color there. So that's what I did. I'm gonna delete this, we don't need it, turn it back on, so you can see these are the layer effects I used. And then above this I made some line works. So the first line work I was experimenting with was this flag, what we have here. So I literally just used a start object. I'm gonna open it here, and then I started to kind of like do some lines, do the circle, do the star cutouts, and then I applied a wave format on it. If I remove it, you'll see it's just very straight and very feels unnatural, you know, feels very, you know. But if you apply a wave, which I used generators on 13, wavelength minimum 1 and then maximum 341, and you can see you can play with this, you know, how much you want to add, and then amplitude 1 and 10, and then I basically just use horizontal scale. That's all I needed, and that's 68%. Okay, so this is what I used for the wave. Okay, don't save, we don't need it for this pattern here. And then I just experimented how would it look like, which is inverted, so I ended up using this inverted version. Okay, let's see the other line work, which is just kind of like, you know, like a star shape. I used this, I made another shape by this Moodboard here. So we don't need this, this is what we need. So this is how it looks like, and then I try to use like lowered opacity, try to incorporate more stars and all sorts of kind of like compass related things, numbers, lines, you know, but it's fairly simple. I didn't spend a whole lot of time on it, and obviously this would have been a lot nicer if I spent more time on it, but I felt this is okay for the purpose what I wanted it for. And let's see the next effect, which is basically the textures and effects and characters, right? Let's just start off with the glow and smoke. So I do have a bunch of layer. I was experimenting here, but like this smoke here, which is just basically just clouds, and then you can go back and double click it and always generate something new for you. I also was trying to see how would it look like if I would have like a light source from the left, but I think I felt it was an overkill, so I removed it, but I'm gonna keep it for now. So let's see how it looks. Yeah, I don't hate it, but you know what, let's just keep it for now. Let's just keep it for now and see what happens. I had a bit of more a light source coming from the top, and then some more smoke, and this is what basically builds up the glow and the smoke. We got the header, which is just this Homelander text behind the character, and this is the one here, and then we have got the character. The character was a bit funny because he I had to work on it a bit, because I don't know if I have it. Yeah, I think I have it, like all these stuff here. So like this is how the original looks like. You see it's quite washed out and stuff, so I was like playing with the exposure a little bit, and just to bring some light into the areas I wanted, like the face and the chest. And then I also used the gradient map just for the cloth, so for the uniform, so it just kind of helps to pop the colors. So I literally just brought in some blue, and then I used a hue saturation just to bring a bit more color. Actually, what does it do? Let me see. Yeah, actually I do see the difference here on the face, but I don't know, I prefer without. Okay, let's see. I'm not sure, was it on or not? I don't know. Anyway, a bit more gradient map. Yeah, and then again try to recreate the glowing eyes with adding some layers here, and then some white. So I was just kind of building it up, and this is how it looks. Okay. Oh, actually I'm just going to turn these off. save it, save it, yeah, and then you can see this is how it looked like. And then if I go back, I can just show you how it looked and how does it look now. Anyway, so this is pretty cool. I also added this FX on the top, which is just basically affecting the side here. What else we got here? Yeah, this kind of camera effects here. It's just basically this. Where is my mouse? That's weird. Okay, anyway, so yeah, this if I turn this into a small object, I think I can just maybe, no, I can't, that's fine. But anyway, I was using this from texturelab.org website, which is really awesome. A couple of more light leaks, I think from the same website, Texture Lab. I love that website, it's so cool. I was also thinking about to add another header, which would be abilities here, but I felt it was an overkill, so I just removed it. So a couple of more light leak from the bottom here, and then the top, yeah, and then just like some sort of lens flare effects here, and the shoulder, and just above here. Sorry. So this was pretty much it about texturing effects and the character to build it up, and then I add the top navigation. So what I was doing is just using this pattern I saved and created, and basically that represents the uniform here. And just let me show you. There were a bunch of things I was experimenting with this section here. First, I tried to build up the selected state for the top nav a bit more fancy and unique. So I was like looking at like how would it look like if I would have these kind of decorational elements, and but I didn't really like it, to be honest. So I did go back and ended up just kind of using the basic stuff. It just didn't feel right. Okay, so what we have here is just a normal panel backdrop, and it's I was also using a displacement map, which kind of meant to represent the cloth material, but I like it. But then, you know, when you try to do this is basically just a HD version, but if you go to 4K, if you scale it up, you will run into problems. The result is going to be always different when you use displacement map and you use different sizes. So I said to myself that no, I don't think it's worth it for me to use this. It looks good, but it doesn't look as good as I hoped. So I ended up just kind of using just a normal straight kind of rectangular shape, and then I just added a little bit of kind of like material kind of glow here, which is basically this satin. Yeah, that's all it is. So let's just go and have a look. So the pattern, I created this pattern with white and used a 10% scale, vivid light, and just 30% opacity. And then I used a gradient map, which is basically just coming from each side. So this will be this left side here, and then the other one will be the other side. It's just basically just a bit of darkening coming from the left. I didn't want it to leave it too like this is too clean, so I just wanted to have a bit of a vignette on it. And then the satin, I was using also vivid light white, 35%, and then this one here, this contour. So these are the settings here, you know, and it gives you this really nice, I don't know if you can see it, this subtle kind of like a cloth folding kind of effect. If I remove it, you see it's just kind of, it's not there. Okay, so that's the backdrop, and I add this logo which I created from the mood board earlier. And the idea here is just that you'll have this completely, the fill is 0, and then you'll have just this gradient overlay coming from the bottom just to lighten up this section. So if I remove it, it's just completely gone. Okay, let's see these text. The font I was using is Trojan Sans Pro, and I felt this one's working with the design, but for a short time I was thinking to go back and just kind of experiment with different kind of fonts, but you know what, I think it works. I wasn't happy with the white, the readability of the white, so I ended up creating a backdrop which is literally just I think I just literally used a rectangle tool, created a new layer which was black, and then converted to smart object and just used sorry, motion blur on it like that, angle 0, and then the distance is yeah, whatever you feel, you know, just something like that, so it kind of gives you this nice smooth edges. Okay, so that's how I did that one. Let's see the prompts. The style for that, it was very simple. First I was thinking to use like kind of like this hand drawn kind of edges, but then I wasn't really happy with that result, so I changed it. Just use the rectangle, cut some corners away, and then reduce the fill to 30%, and used a stroke, a light stroke, which was 3B4BC3, and that was 100%. Inside I used the same Trojan Sans Pro type, 18 point size, and then I think the color is lighter blue, so this is 8E9BFF, and I use the same for the inactive top navigation. Okay, so after this, let's see, yeah, I don't want those now. I did the same here to the back prompt, and then the bio. I did spend a whole bunch of time to build this, and I ended up kind of like, I went very far I think, and then I had to pull it back, so I was experimenting with all sorts of shapes. But the idea was to go and do, because Homelander has this kind of like golden elements here, so I thought it would be cool to kind of like bring it into the design. So I ended up kind of using some of the parts having this kind of close to a bit like a League of Legends style, I would say, maybe, but I didn't want to overuse it, so I was just literally using it for some frames and stuff. And yeah, I don't know if I have, I think I might have something I saved from, or maybe not. Yeah, I don't think I saved when I was going crazy with this panel. It was like square, and then there were like cutouts everywhere, and trying to make it really fancy, but then I didn't really like it. This design here, the frame, it originates from the pattern. So as you can see in this pattern, you'll see this because it's, yeah, let's just move it out. Yeah, so this section here, this is the part I kind of liked a lot, so I ended up kind of using it, using it in this section here. And then I used this eagle on some other parts, but I did like the star and stuff, so I tried to use that. So I used this, I expanded it and created a frame, and then just used a couple of stars on the top. By the way, the layer style for these panels here. Let me see, I think this is, yeah, this is the bottom one, that's the top one. Okay, so the whole idea is I would just have a solid color, which is, no, what is it, which is A68043, and then I applied some stroke effect to it, and this stroke effect is basically because it's quite large, it covers the whole everything on the of this divider, the complete design, and then I applied this gradient map on it, which was kind of like giving this maybe I can, this is only using 10% opacity. If I use it like 100%, you'll see where it comes in the design. So this is very interacts with the design, but 10% was something really subtle, and I felt this was a bit more natural. And the other one is just basically from outside. There's a lighter version of that gold color, literally 20%, and this is FBCF87, and it's just literally bringing in that small detail on the side. Not even sure if we need it, but I'll keep it. I use something similar for the title here, and then for this divider as well, and try to keep it simple and use a small amount of colors. So I'm using red, I'm using yellow, I'm using blue and white. These are my colors here. Okay, let's have a look at the scale tree button. With this button, I was working on this a lot as well. I think I did come up with a couple of different versions and stuff. That is a really interesting effect here. If you can see this, I got this script. And maybe if I just remove the base, yeah, now you can see this here. So the idea here is that the whole thing is that this is all vector shape, so you could scale it as much as you want, and that's what exactly I wanted. But then again, this is also a cutout from this glow, and the way I did that, I think it's quite interesting. I just learned this technique from texturelab.org. has got a YouTube channel as well. It's worth checking out, and I think in there the guy was talking about the knockout effect and how powerful it is. So I was using it here for this technique. So the idea here is that this script shape gets it basically cuts out from the glow underneath, but as you can see, there's no mask or anything, and the only thing I'm using is the knockout effect, which works the way that you open this file here, or this layer, and then you see here knockout, and I've set it to shallow. So what happened is, the instruction is for the file, for a PSD file, is that this layer here, whatever is on this layer, will be cut out from the one below, or actually from everything inside the group. So let's say this group, you would have 5 layers. The top one will cut out from whatever you place on the top one will be cut out from all the layers underneath up until the bottom within this group. I hope this makes sense. I think I'm gonna link the video about this other tutorial I was watching, and then you can guys have a really cool reference about it. But the idea is that you put it on shallow, and then you reduce the fill to 0. If I were raising it back to 100%, it will, it'll be completely pointless at that point. But the idea is that you remove the fill and it will cut it out from here. So that's the effect I was using here, and then I created a base layer for my button, and that's got some glow, of course, and that's the glow here, and this is my shape, my rectangle, my base shape, and I applied a bunch of stuff, drop shadow, outer glow, you know, just to have a bit of 3D effect on it. And then this pattern I was using with the same thing, white, but I did change the angle to 45%, so he has got this kind of interesting angle. And then I added a hard mix overlay, which is really interesting. So the main reason I added it just to sharpen the pattern. If I were to turn it off, don't know how much you can see it, but it becomes really blurry. Hard mix layer blend mode can be used to sharpen elements of your design. Like I would use 50% gray, and the idea in the 50% gray that, you know, you'll if you put it in the blend mode, hard mix or overlay, it'll be invisible basically. So I put it on hard mix and I use 50% opacity. You can go up a bit if you want, but it's gonna be just more pixelated. So if you go down to about 50, I think that feels like a good place to start to use. Yeah, that's pretty good. So if I turn it on, you see it's quite blurry. Turning back on, it's quite sharp. And then I added this color just to change the whole theme to this goldeny kind of stuff. And then there's an inner glow just to have a bit of 3D for these frames here. Yeah, like that. Okay, and then we also have got the frame above it. And then here you can see, like, I was trying to use a different frame first, and this frame was basically based on the shoulder piece and this shoulder piece here, but I wasn't very convinced that it works better. So yeah, I just use something else at the end. I don't know, you tell me, do you like it more than the other one? I don't know. I think I definitely prefer this. Don't know why. I just like this one more. You will run into problems when you will start to place two similar type of buttons next to each other, let's say on a pop-up screen, but then yeah, that's down the road. So this is probably a design I would iterate on. Yeah, anyway, I followed the same kind of technique to achieve this golden kind of look as the frames here. And then I incorporated on the top these wings, which we already seen from this design here. Yeah, but I try to kind of like remove the sections I don't need, like actually the star could have been interesting to keep it here. Anyway, I think, yeah, but I had to kind of like work with these because these were just too it was just too slim for me, so I wanted a bit more chunkier. So that's why I just brought it in like that, just kind of like this. Remove a couple of anchor points and then just play with these handles here, and then yeah, so that's it for that. Let's see the next section, which is the, yeah, I added some sparkles. These are just yeah, just I think it was from like a campfire or something. Yeah, some sort of campfire, and then all you have to do is just kind of like use a screen mode, and then I'll just hide the blacks and then just reverse everything as the lighter portions of this picture. Okay, and then we go to the abilities. So I quickly made these kind of small icons, and I just wasn't happy about it after that. So I made them. I wanted something simple and something quick, but I didn't expect myself not to be annoyed by it. That's the thing. I felt annoyed by it, like it just looks bad. But anyway, it works because the point is that just wanted to show, like, these are placeholders. Obviously I would spend a lot of time and rework them in Illustrator for sure. but I just wanted to do something quick. So I ended up doing an available and a locked sections, trying to divide these elements here. So these are the things you can choose from. These are the available abilities and these are the locked abilities. And then the selected one would have this kind of ring. And I think I went a bit overboard with it, but it's okay. It's okay. So the idea was here, it was really simple. Just used an ellipse tool like that. Oops. Okay. Like this. Okay. And then I just duplicated it and then transform, made it smaller, something like that. And then selecting both and then just go and subtract front shape. So you'll have this design here. And then I was just kind of like doing these lines and then cut it out from part of it. And what I did is just literally copy the layer style from other sections like the frames and stuff and then just paste it in. So that's how that works. This backdrop here, which is basically is from two parts. One of them is basically this darkening and then the other one is more of the pattern and stuff. So I use, of course, like some drop shadows and then I use this cloth material pattern, but it's too it's just too bright. So I did add yeah, this is just kind of sharpening it, yeah, because it was quite blurry. So I use the same technique I showed you before with the color overlay chain, using 50% gray on hard mix and 50% opacity. They will just sharpen this pattern. And then I use a dark inner glow just for this section here. And then a stroke. Why do we need a stroke? To be honest, I don't know. Yeah, I don't even think we need it. So I'm just gonna remove it. I think it's probably a leftover from an earlier concept. And then I duplicated the very same layer and I call this the texture. And all it does, it has got a different pattern layer. And this pattern is really cool. I call this, I think dust, not dust. Ink roller? No. Dirt. I think it was called dirt. Yeah, dirt. I called it dirt, and it's just all it is just kind of like some smudges on. These are quite large. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, this is like 2500 by 2495. I also got it from the texture lab. Let's see. Yeah, texturelabs.org. Remember that website is really cool. And then I think ink paint, maybe. Yeah, I think ink paint. Yeah, and then you got these kind of like ink paint kind of stuff. And then I just literally downloaded it and used it. I created a pattern from them. Yeah, I think so. There's a bunch of version of it. They're extremely useful. Yeah, I don't know, where was it? I think this was somewhere on this website. It's a really cool website. So, and then I used that one with 50% scale and added a bit more inner glow. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So it has got this kind of dirty cloth material here. The icon itself is just almost white. I didn't want to go full white, so I use E3, a lighter gray, and then I applied a pattern overlay. I want to share this PSD file with you guys, but I'll do it as always as soon as the video reaches like 100 likes. Then I'll share the PSD file, and then you can have all these stuff. So help me reach that. So I use this also from Texture Labs. This is Ink Paint 245 file, and you just literally use it on scale 25. Okay, so that's why it gives this nice, so yeah, that's what gives this nice grungy look here. Okay, let's see the others. It's basically the log state will do the same thing. I was just using the same design as I use here, but change the color to black and white basically. And that's pretty much all. I also tried, like, in this merged sorry, in this merged version, you'll see I experimented with quite a few. Like this one used a blue color for the button, but it just kind of blended in too much, and then I changed it to red, and I felt like it's still blending in too much, and then I ended up kind of using this this yellow. So yeah, this is it. I also used, I think, a different kind of red. It was a bit, yeah, it was quite darker, but I don't know, I think it was just too dark, so that's why I kind of went back and softened it, so it helps the character pop more, because with this one it just, the character itself blended in a little bit, and I felt with this one it just helps the character to pop. Don't know, what do you think? Let me know. So this is the end of the video. I hope you like it. It's very different than what I was doing before, and give me your opinion about it. How do you feel about it? Shall we go back to recreate some other games, or shall we do something more like this, like concepting about like hypothetical games and stuff? So I'm curious to hear your opinion. Thank you very much for your support and to help the channel grow. And the channel, I think, alive for about a year now, and it's getting there. It's definitely getting there. I'm enjoying doing it. There's more comments coming in, and love interacting with you guys. And let me know if you have any observations or any requests, and we can go and do those things as well. Okay, I'm actually planning to do another channel, and another channel is going to be purely focusing on UI design and more about reviewing existing games UI. Okay, I will send you the link once it's available. Okay, thank you for watching, and see you later, guys. Bye.